Busy day on site, but our jobs weren't always as big as this. Let's go back to the beginning.
I grew up in County Cork. Whenever you're getting building work done at home, you'd always be aware that there were trade families in Cork. Our family trade was a little bit different. I remember my father telling me about my uncle Gerald from West Cork. He could make or fix anything. He always had a junk drawer at home, basically anything that he could conceivably use for his next repair project. My grandfather, who I never knew, was also a little bit of an inventor. I remember he made a circular saw from the flywheel that he made from an old Morris. So I remember growing up helping my father on his fledgling projects. And I remember one time we were fishing a wire down through a cavity of our house in the masonry, and as soon as we finally had it out the other end, I thought I could leave go. And I remember him screaming at me going, "Geez, why did you do that?" And a neighbour standing in their garden looking up at us laughing, just knowing we were just way too alike. So when it came to choose what to do in college, I chose civil engineering. I went to college with great intentions, but I think there was an awful lot of distractions in college. It was a long way from standing in my garden shed at home with a vice, making boats out of timber, drilling holes, creating sawdust. When I finished civil engineering in UCC, I knew I wasn't going to be working in a design office, so I thought, how can I fix this? I remember growing up, whenever there was a job to be done in the garden, I was always the one who would stand back and kind of analyse everything. So I thought project management must be for me. So I started work with John Sisk's Builders in Cork in UCC and the Courthouse. This started the next phase of my apprenticeship. Next, I travelled to the UK to work with Murphy's in Manchester and London on civil engineering. But everyone over there was telling me that the Irish economy was finally booming, so I moved back to Dublin. I worked with PJ Hegarty's in Dublin and Naas, building a massive hospital, and eventually moved back to Cork and worked with Ridge Developments and Lanes. My uncle had a friend who needed an extension, so he told her that I'd do it. So I built this extension in the evening while I was holding down my day job. At this stage, I was really enjoying working for myself, and I really need to go out on my own. So I thought, how can I fix this?
So around about this time, my grandmother passed away at the ripe old age of 92. Her family were going to sell the old family home, which was my mum's family home, so I asked them if I could renovate the house before they sold it. They agreed, so this became my first job. So I quit my day job and started KMC Homes in December 2003. So we started building whatever we could. Extensions, renovations, porches, attic conversions, garages, you name it, we did it. Everything was going great until the Celtic Tiger property bubble burst. All the other builders, industrial and commercial and residential, began now to focus on the extensions and renovations. It became a very crowded market. I was always amazed and frustrated at how complicated a construction project seems to be. Whether you're building or renovating a home, there are so many different people working in so many different areas, with no one really managing them. The project seemed to go on forever and seemed to be so stressful for everyone, particularly the client who was paying for the project. So I thought, how can I fix this?
So I thought, why can't we manage the full process instead of just the build? So we began to design clients' houses to their budget, get them planning permission, and then build their houses fixed price, including all the finishes. So I studied all about how design and build works. The more I learned about it, the more I noticed it seems to be done an awful lot in countries like New Zealand and Australia. So I hopped on a plane and went to New Zealand for 2 weeks, meeting different design and build companies to learn how the full process works. Our new design and build approach became very popular. We began building more and more extensions in Cork, but as the company began to mature, I thought I wanted to expand KMC from Cork into Limerick. The problem was these extensions were taking up way too much of my time and I couldn't systemize the process. So I thought, how can I fix this?
In 2017, we stopped building extensions and renovations to focus solely on new build homes. Now we design and build some of the biggest high-end homes in Cork. This year, as we celebrate 20 years in business, we will be building our first new home in Limerick as we expand in Ireland. So, what else needs fixing?